Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. It felt like it's been ages since the last football match happened. It's almost been a week gap, whereas all the other teams played in midweek and stuff. Even Arsenal bloody played in midweek, the Europa League game and all. It just seems that only we have had a week off, and as football fans, we could say that as City fans, we have missed out on action, whereas all the rival fans were seeing their team play in midweek. But I think after that loss, I think a week's rest might have been more helpful than we actually might think, because obviously Pep can review a few things about that Liverpool loss, and he could maybe reflect on himself more than anything. Uh, how justified was he in using those tactics and stuff, and then come back with a fresh frame of mind, because this game is gonna be very very tactical as well. Brighton under De Zerbi have been excellent, I must say. I've watched the last 2-3 Brighton games, especially Brighton against Spurs. They were excellent. They played Spurs off the park. I know Spurs won from a corner and all of that, playing all of the shitty football, but Brighton were absolutely good on the front foot. Like, if I called a non-football fan and showed them Brighton, they would think almost Pep Guardiola is the coach of that team. They literally played the style of football that Pep Guardiola would absolutely love. So Brighton are a team that loves to play on the front foot, are a team that loves to press from the front, a team that loves to tactically outnumber the opposition in the midfield. Their coach is an excellent tactician. It's I don't know how they did it, but the Brighton board, they replaced Graham Potter with someone who is at exactly the same tactical level almost in De Zerbi. I don't know. Their recruitment always seems to be excellent. Cucurella gone. They bought an Estopinian who's almost fitted in seamlessly. They don't seem to be missing Cucurella right now. Potter gone. They seem to have done that, replacing him very well with De Zerbi. So over and out, I think Brighton have been excellent. Maybe if they had more money, if they had money like a top six clubs, top four clubs, I think they would definitely compete for the top four. So it'll very interesting. The interesting thing is Pep started Laporte. I think it's Laporte Diaz, as you can see in the screen. Now, does this actually mark a shift in Pep Guardiola's thinking, going away from Nathan Ake a bit? Because till now, I mean, Nathan Ake obviously has been the best defender for us, right? But after that Liverpool game, you can slightly question that Nathan Ake is very good on the ball, but he's not as good on the ball as Aymeric Laporte, because you have to be 100 out of 100 on the ball for City. Being 98 is not enough. So has Nathan Ake maybe struggling with making a couple of key passes to break down Liverpool's line? Has it got into Pep Guardiola's mind a bit, and he has thought maybe for certain games where the opposition sits back and tries to hit us on the counter like a Liverpool did, I might prefer the passing of Laporte, who can break open the lines, than Nathan Ake, for example, who played in the defensive thing. I know he played back three then against Liverpool, and Nathan Ake obviously had a lot of ball on the left of that back three. So I think Pep has had those kind of a thinking, and I think that's why he's got Laporte back here. And also, I think Pep was mistaken to change Cancelo's position. I know that we played a different formation against Liverpool, but the centre back thing, I'm quite sure that Pep has had double thoughts now about which matches he starts Ake in and which matches he starts Laporte in. And against Brighton today, a pressing team, who can break the press better? Is Nathan Ake able to play through the press of Brighton? So Pep had got the answer to that. No, Nathan Ake's best attributes is something else. So that's why I think Laporte is playing. Apart from that, Riyad Mahrez, I don't know why, but I had this gut feeling that Mahrez will start. Actually, I got Mahrez into my fantasy team as well for this week, because with Riyad Mahrez, had a very bad game against Copenhagen. was left out for Liverpool. It's classic Pep, he's almost managing the player in Mahrez who's low on confidence, and he's getting him back after giving him almost 1.5 week of rest. So it's the classic Pep managing Mahrez. I think most of us knew Mahrez will start today because Pep will know as the season goes on. Pep will literally need the experience of Riyad Mahrez, especially in the Champions League. People are thinking Erling Haaland in the Champions League, for example. He could be the missing piece, but we must not forget Riyad Mahrez last season carried us through in the Champions League. He almost scored the winner against Real Madrid. It was a thunderous strike. Mahrez carried us the season before as well when we got to the finals. He was our top scorer, scored important goals, penalty against Dortmund. So the experience of Riyad Mahrez in the Champions League will be crucial. I'm sure in the big games, Mahrez is starting on the right hand side in the Champions League. I do not care what anyone else says. Vinay says, so Pep again playing Grealish Mahrez duo. Vinay says, by the way, Liverpool lost by 1-0. Exactly. Vinay, I'm so satisfied. I'm so happy with Liverpool losing. I thought they should have at least drawn in midweek against West Ham, right? Bowen misses a penalty against Liverpool in the midweek, and Soucek misses an open goal almost. So luck was there on Liverpool's side. In the City match as well, I look back on that VAR decision, and it was it a foul in open play? No, because the referee in that Liverpool match was letting things go on, for example. So how could he go back and since VAR checked on it? I didn't find it logical because the referee, I mean, he was just letting the game flow. So I thought Liverpool got a bit lucky there because if City got the first goal against Liverpool, uh, then they would have had to come out. We could have exploited the spaces. So, lucky week for Liverpool. They were limping, 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 and it had to be that destiny had to decide that you lose against the bottom half team now. So, good thing happened to Liverpool. That's just what they deserve. They have been so lucky with all the victories, war decisions, and stuff. I know Grealish Mahrez do. I know the thing. I know we were quite frustrated with Copenhagen as well, right? On this channel, we were talking so much about Grealish Mahrez duo. It's so boring. Why do we watch this and all? I was just thinking about it, in this week, and I actually think that Pep sees this Grealish Mahrez duo as integral in certain Champions League games. When you have to control the tempo of the game, when you have to keep the ball, when you have to soak up the pressure, because both of them are excellent tempo controllers. Both of them, both of their ball control, spatial awareness, all of those things are good. Attacking wise, they don't make those fast runs and things like that, but I think there are qualities where Pep sees both of them as integral to, especially in the later stages of the Champions League. I think that is the reason why Pep is experimenting with them right now. I think Pep is still looking at finding the right combination there, but I still think that maybe, I think Pep thought Foden and Mahrez could be the best combination, but again, looking at what happened against Newcastle, for example, Foden couldn't control the tempo of the game, and Newcastle hit us on the counter. If you go back there, so I think Pep has looked at that, and Pep is thinking in the future, maybe in the Champions League, I will face those teams who will hit me on the counter, then maybe I will have to play Grealish and Mahrez just to control the tempo. So I think this is a game plan from Pep. He is experimenting with both of them for the future, for the Champions League. This is not for the Premier League. This is for the Champions League. This combination of Mahrez and Grealish. I know again you could say, how can you say like that? They stem the flow of the game. But in Champions League, you maybe need your wingers sometimes. Both of them who can control the tempo and who can stem the flow of the game. I think. So let's see what Pep has in mind. But midfield is just love. The game has started. City kicking off will be an excellent tactical battle again. De Zerbi on the front foot, Brighton again. Brighton are one of the teams actually who I like in terms of the style of play and stuff after Man City. I don't think any other team even plays close to them. They are the second best footballing team in the league, Brighton. Maybe you could say Arsenal, but Arsenal have spent and Arsenal have uh, bit of a world class players, but I think Brighton with what they have replicating this style of play, I think they are definitely in the top three footballing sides in the league for sure. I would have a keen eye on Aymeric Laporte. Actually, the positions he takes up, the kind of passes he makes, especially how is he able to split the lines. I'll have a keen eye on him. It's going to be an intense battle between Laporte and Nathan Ake. But still, I have no doubt that in Champions League, Laporte is just too error prone to, especially in certain specific one-on-one situations. So I think maybe Pep has decided Ake will play in the Champions League and Laporte in the Premier League. Maybe Ederson with the ball. Look at Brighton, look at Brighton pressing in their 4-3-3 structure. Are they playing a diamond in the midfield? No, Brighton are not playing a diamond in the midfield. Actually, they're playing a diamond. Actually, they're playing a diamond in the midfield. Look at the shape when they're pressing us, especially. They're almost pressing us in a diamond shape. And then, especially when the centre back is on the ball, Brighton are pressing us in a diamond shape. And once the ball gets passed on to the left or the right, they're just switching back to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 formation. Interesting tactics from D Zerbi already to start off. This will be a match between two grandmasters. Will be a match between two expert tacticians, I would say. Not that De Zerbi is at the level of Pep Guardiola or something right now, but that's excellent pressing there. And Rodri with the ball, and it's Jack Grealish having a chance to run at the defenders, and he just can't beat his man again. So this is a bit frustrating from Grealish, I know, because it's literally a 1v1, and when it's a 1v1, Jack, with your quality, we expect you to beat the man at least. And another thing, Jack, you have been played today to control the tempo of the game. You can't just try to beat him and then give the ball away and give the chance for Brighton to hit us on the counter. That is just not done, Jack. Foden there sitting on the bench with Stefan Ortega. Sanchez as well, the Brighton keeper, has been decent on the ball actually. I didn't rate him as much on the ball, but this season, whatever I've seen him, he's been very good on the ball actually. Better than David De Gea at least. Easily better than David De Gea. Mahrez press, Riyad, go and press. Wonderful pressing from Riyad there. Forces the ball, but look at Brighton playing out of the press. This is going to be the exciting part. How will City deal with the Brighton press? And that is why Bernardo Silva has been playing there. Brighton with throw. Sanchez playing it to the left centre back of Brighton, and again that is good press. Excellent press there. Excellent press. Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, he almost played in Erling Haaland over there. That's a wonderful ball there from Cancelo. Cancelo's form will be interesting because of, would there have been scars after that Liverpool game for Joao Cancelo? Not sure. I will not say the word scars because I know he's been responsible for that goal. It was an individual mistake, but we'll have to see how it has affected his mentality because Joao Cancelo generally is someone who is known to have a very strong mentality. So Edison there surveying his options. Look at Brighton press again. The shape is very, very interesting to me. When the ball is with the centre backs, they press in one shape, and without the centre backs, they press in another shape. This is extremely interesting. Ederson there, Bernardo Silva covering a lot of ground. Uh, this in the first 5 minutes, no one has actually been able to get to grips with things. That's excellent play from Brighton. They have space. They have space down the left hand side, and that's very well defended. Excellent defending from Ruben Diaz, and Riyad Mahrez now comes out with the ball. It's Jack Grealish driving. Jack. Onto your right. Onto your right. There is space. Onto your right. Bloody hell! There was space on the right. Jack. I think Jack did not pick the right option there. Surely Mahrez was in a lot more space over there. He went for Kevin De Bruyne, I know. We have to mix it up. It's not always De Bruyne or Haaland. We have to mix it up and we have to play the game rather than, I don't know where the referee is running away now. Oh, there's a Brighton player down with an injury. So it's Danny Welbeck, of course. That's excellent defending from Ruben Diaz. Those balls have been sort of the trademark of Brighton. I think against Spurs as well. They were putting in balls from the left hand side, and Danny Welbeck was between both the centre backs to attack it. So interesting tactics from Brighton. Pep is giving specific instructions again to Bernardo Silva. There's something there. We have not been able to get grip of the game. Brighton have. It's almost like Brighton have solved the Pep's puzzle which we started with. So Pep is now again, I think it's changing a few things. There's Haaland, there's Bernardo Silva, there is Ruben Diaz around Pep, and all of them are being given instructions. So this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Deserve be there. Brighton have started the game on the front foot. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. They have managed to play through our press. They have managed to cancel out our tactics. They have managed to find open spaces. So Brighton's been very, very good. We'll have to look at what Pep Guardiola was telling four players. It's not often that you see four players surrounding Pep taking four different issues, and that to one from each department. Haaland in the striking department, Bernardo Silva, Ederson, Cancelo. It's literally one from each department around Pep. Surely there was some problem. Haaland. Ah, that's a free kick to Brighton. Loose pass again. Pep will not be happy with that. We'll have to tighten up, guys. It's not been good, and it's not because of Grealish and Mahrez at all. The service, it's been slow. It almost seems that the game has not kicked on. It almost seems that each of us are cancelling each other. Sanchez to Edison. Maybe the goalkeepers wanted to say a hello by kicking the ball one to other. We'll have to move the ball ahead a bit more faster. Look at the press again. And thankfully that's a foul. Thankfully that's a foul. Otherwise, it was a 3v2 at the back. We have been a bit sloppy on the ball, bit slow on the ball actually. Eddie, what the hell are you doing? I don't know what we are doing here. We are just being a bit sloppy on the passes. The goalkeeper. I mean, that's almost a simple ball to play. I mean, it's a simple ball for Ederson at least. He's hit it so casually. Pep will not be happy with that at all. We should not take this lightly. Brighton are a bloody tough team to play against. Liverpool have dropped points here. United got beat by Brighton. Spurs were lucky against Brighton. I know Edison is trying to draw out the defense, but look at the press there. There's no. I think Bernardo Silva has to be at his absolute best today in order to negate this press. He's the best counter pressing player in the world. Bernardo Silva. That could easily have been 1 nil if the shot was timed a little bit better. Brighton attacking again. Well defended. Ruben Diaz has been excellent in terms of defensive work. Akanji, very well defended. Kenshalo, well defended. All the match has been played in Brighton's half. Brighton are dominating us. When was the last time did you see our team come to Etihad and dominate us? And it's not even at Brighton's home. Not even at the MX Stadium. What a ball, what a ball, and Riyad. Wonderful pass from Riyad Mahrez. What a pass. Jack Grealish onto it. Cancelo on the outside. It's Bernardo Silva on the outside. And that's a corner for City. That's a good phase of play, but then it's on the counter again. So I can't say that I'm actually happy with it or something. Vinicius missing Foden. Missing that impetus on the wings again. Cancelo there. Bernardo Silva is now playing on the wings. Jack Grealish. Wonderful exchange with Bernardo Silva. And it's another corner. What are we doing? Why are we playing Bernardo Silva on the left hand side? Why doesn't Pep set up in such a way that Cancelo and Grealish can play those 1-2s? Why do you want to involve Bernardo Silva there? Because it just becomes a little bit stale and stagnant. Both try to do the same bloody thing. Bernardo and Grealish on that left hand side, but corner in and corner out. Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland in space. Wonderful ball by Erling Haaland. Those crosses from Erling Haaland, they are just, especially on his left foot, they are just so good. Good defending. Kevin De Bruyne there. Ah, did he try to catch out Sanchez? Maybe. But not the kind of start we would have wanted, especially at the Etihad. We just don't see him in rhythm. I don't know the reasons. Maybe the reason is already there. Like when I mentioned at the start that both Grealish and Mahrez are playing in that might be the reason why there's no rhythm. But can't Pep see what we are seeing? Whenever he has started him, it's been a disaster. Whenever he has started both Mahrez and Grealish, it's been nothing short of a disaster. So then why is Pep playing both of them together? I honestly do not have an answer to that. Maybe tempo can be the only reason. Can keep the ball, can control the tempo. That's good work there by Grealish, and the Brighton player is supposed to kick out. Rodri. Laporte, Cancelo, Jack Grealish. Foul. That's fine, Jack. You can get the fouls, but they will pull you down in harmless areas. So it just stops our rhythm. That's all. That's wonderful from Jack. Kevin De Bruyne. I don't know why we are just trying to play in the tiny pocket of space. I don't know why we are just trying to put ourselves into a box there on that left hand side. Just spread the play. Just play some crossfield balls. Bring Riyad Mahrez into the picture as well. Why do you just want to play on one side? Just open the gift wrapper, open on the other side as well, and Akanji plays it back to Edison. Manuel Akanji. Edison. Edison is not knowing where to put the ball. It just almost seems that he's out of options. Jack Grealish. Ken Shallow. Ah, Cancelo did well there, but was just asking too much of the strikers over there. De Bruyne lifts it up and the ball is with Cancelo. City are slowly but steadily getting grip of the game. This is interesting. Kevin De Bruyne. That's not a foul by the ref. But press, Erling press. That's good pressing by Haaland. And it's Kevin De Bruyne who's complaining to the referee. There's been no rhythm in the game. Like we were discussing, this game is almost like a chess match where both of the grandmasters are cancelling each other out in the midfield, in the defensive positions, in all of the positions. I think that is the reason Laporte is very very important here to break through those lines, to break through the opponent's defensive lines from deep. But Laporte has just come back from injury, so we'll have to see what kind of a form he is in. City are laying traps and our pressing structure is almost similar to what we're doing for Brighton. That's not a foul according to the ref. Well played, ref. And Jack Grealish with the ball. Jack, just don't lose the ball. I don't care what the hell you do. Just don't lose the ball. Manuel Akanji. He spreads it wide, but wasn't such a good pass. But Mahrez collects it. Mahrez to Akanji. Rodri, I think you'll have to recycle back to Mahrez to get that ball in. Or just recycle back. Don't bloody, for God's sake, don't go into that left hand corner. Ah, is it a penalty? Is it a penalty? Is it a penalty? Is it a penalty? What is the referee telling? Referee and Haaland. What is it? Is it a penalty? I think it's a penalty. Or is the goalkeeper's leg? It's a penalty. It's a clear penalty. Sanchez leaves his leg on. It's a clear penalty. Should be a penalty, guys. It should be a penalty. That is a penalty. There's no doubt about it. It should be a penalty. I can't understand if they don't give it. No, it's not a penalty. They have not given a penalty. I can't understand this rule again. Why is it not a penalty? The goalkeeper clearly has his leg on Haaland. Why is it not a penalty, guys? Can someone explain to me why is it not a penalty? Am I getting the rules wrong here? Should be a penalty. I don't know. I don't know why it's not given. Edison with the crossfield ball. And it's Erling Haaland with the goal! Erling Haaland! Erling Haaland does it again! What a ball from Ederson! Assist Ederson, Haaland goal! Wow! What a way! What a way to show that City can play in more than one way. Pep is still furious with Bernardo Silva. I mean, not furious, he's explaining some tactics again, but look at Haaland make that run, the physicality, the calmness of the finish. It's foul. I don't think it's foul. How many fouls will you give on Haaland? The defender should be strong. The defender should be strong. Now they don't give the penalty, but they give this foul. That is this. This is just bullshit. That's shoulder to shoulder. That is shoulder to shoulder. Yes, man, goal. That is shoulder to shoulder. If that was given a foul, Haaland would have bloody gone to Stanley Park and he would have just broken all the VAR systems over there. Against Liverpool, you gave a foul. Again, now if you are given a foul, but no, that's a goal. Look at the strength of the specimen. Look at the coolness. I know you'd say it's an empty goal, but would Sterling have scored that empty goal? I still doubt Sterling would have scored that. But Erling Haaland, after 1 week of rest, his goal scoring numbers start to rig up again. What a man, what a player, what an assist by Edison. But then seriously, why wasn't it not a penalty? I don't know. I'm still it's still in my mind. Still can't get it. Maybe the only reason could have been maybe the ball went and then the foul came. Could be the only reason, but I find it as a lame excuse. Maybe the ball wasn't in control of Haaland. Maybe that's the only excuse you could give. Such a lame excuse, right? But if it's Liverpool, there are no excuses. Look at the confidence in Ederson's passing. It's just fantastic. The game's not over yet. The game's not at all over. It's just beginning, especially against Brighton. You know, the press, the way they play and things. But that just showed if you play a high line against City, how Ederson can exploit it. Ah, Haaland covered Sanchez there. The defender did not know what to do. It was 4v4 with each of the City player pressing the Brighton players. So that's excellent. I think we are laying traps very well here. And Brighton are falling into those pressing traps. Ederson. It's almost like Ederson is controlling the game. He's playing as a back three. Pep would have looked at Liverpool game and told to himself, why did I play a back three there? Because Ederson is already like a back three. Why do you want another back three? That's just nonsense. That's what Pep would have thought. Look at Ederson act as a back three more prominently than ever before. This suddenly means that you are in advantage while pressing, while the opposition is pressing you, because how much they match up to you, there's always a spare player. If everyone is matched up, Ederson can always go long, like he went for the goal. So that's very well done, Joao Cancelo. Jack Grealish. Cancelo does very well. Look at it. He's had the ball on a shoestring. This is wonderful, Joao Cancelo. You're just a thing of art. You're just a masterpiece. You're a thing of beauty, man. Manuel Akanji. He's just playing as if he's been born and trained at the Manchester City Academy. That's how seamlessly he's fitted into the style. It's Kevin De Bruyne. And he's just been hurried on there, and that won't happen often. So, excuses. Wonderful there, Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland fouled, and Caicedo gets a yellow card. This will be interesting now because Caicedo has been nibbling away at the fouls, nibbling away at the fouls. And now will be interesting to see how he makes those tactical fouls. Because Casido is the one who's been kind of stopping those Haaland runs and all of those things. The half has flown by. Till now, it's not been a dominant half for City, but it's been a half where City have shown that where we have shown that we can churn up those results even though we might not be at our best, even though we might be a bit low on confidence now, even though we might not get our rhythm going. So Erling Haaland almost on his way for the second goal. A last minute touch by the Brighton defender. Brighton are just not being able to live with City's press. It's on another level, City's press. Kevin De Bruyne. He just didn't have the time to get the whip in. Otherwise, it was 2-0. Erling Haaland was waiting for that whip. Brighton get the ball out now. We need to keep a clean sheet today. That's paramount. The pressing structure of City has been a bit different than the usual one we use, but it's been effective. But Grealish and Mahrez are working really hard. That is a good thing to see. Because work rate is often another thing in question. Especially, who is that brat idiot who's given the ball away there in the midfield? You can't do that. I think it's Grealish and Brighton break now. It's almost a 3v3 at the back. Akanji's been drawn out. There's the standard Brighton overload. You can't just allow those turnovers to happen. That is why Pap is played. Grealish and Mahrez, that's an intelligent pass. Just go back and stay compact. Go back and stay compact. Just look for the second runner. Runner from the midfield. You Pascal Gross and McAllister and those kind of people. Just look for them. Runners from deep are what Brighton cause havoc. I do not want anyone to miss their marker from the deep. Be Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Just go with them defensively. Brighton patiently playing around. Just wait for the moment and nick the ball, man. Just nick the ball and then you'll have a free counter. Just nick the ball. Brighton are just stretching the pitch as much as possible. It's good that Mahrez and Akanji directing, all of the defenders are directing the midfield counterparts and how to conduct the defensive shape. This is interesting. Interesting. This is very interesting. Excellently managed. This phase has been wonderfully managed by City. Mahrez, Grealish, everyone in front of those the back four. Each of their back four counterpart has been talking to their attacking players in the front, and this is just wonderful, wonderful management, guys, of that phase. Under pressure, this is what you need in the Champions League later stages. Opposition have the ball. How well do you soak up the pressure? How well do you maintain your shape? Excellent for me. Well, very well done. Good ball there. Joe Cancelo, he just looks in supply form and that's a good reverse pass. Almost there. It's almost a good reverse pass to Erling Haaland. But Haaland just cannot reach it and that is very well done. That is very well done. Jack Grealish. That's a corner, I think. What is it? What has the referee given? Jack Grealish has just gone down. That's not a penalty for sure. I think it's nothing actually. Jack Grealish is just maybe twisted something and gone down. Or is there a leg from the defender over there? That would be very harsh to give a penalty. Honestly, there's been nothing in there. Vinay says Grealish is still clueless. I mean, I'm clueless here. Like, why did he go down? There seems to be not enough of a contact by the defender as well. Why did he go down? I do not know. I do not know why he went down there. I know why he went. Like he attempted the shot, but he just went down. Maybe hit by thin air. That is the weirdest explanation possible, but that could be the only explanation. But the 1-2 between Grealish and Mahrez Haaland was very good there. And it was difficult, but if that volley from Grealish had come off, then it would be something else. But the press is just wonderful from City again. Haaland working hard as well. Get it, everyone is covered, everyone is covered. Brighton have nowhere to go. This has been one of the most accomplished pressing performances from us in a long, long time. But Brighton have somehow managed to get through the press. I don't know how. Very well covered by Ruben Diaz there. Defensively, we are looking solid. But with the one, Mara is very well done, Riyad. Wonderful. There is space there. There is space for Bernardo Silva to put a ball in. Grealish has to make it too. Exactly. Why didn't Grealish shoot? He had to make it too. That was 2-0. These are the kind of things I don't know why he didn't shoot over there. That was such a very well worked opportunity, right? Grealish had to shoot. He was in space. That once it came back to KDP, it was difficult. But with Grealish, I know the angle was against him, but Grealish had to shoot over there. He literally had time to shift it onto a stronger foot, the right foot, and shoot Grealish. I don't know why he didn't shoot over there. That was such a good opportunity to almost get the game to a certain foregone conclusion. But just look at the ball from Henderson again. They're showing the replay, and it's just fantastic. It wasn't an easy. I mean, the finish was easy, but it wasn't an easy take from Haaland. There was the goalkeeper that was rushing in. Then there was a defender as well who's tied to him. He had to control the ball from the goalkeeper, and then he had to sort of go shoulder to shoulder with the defender, outmuscle him physically, not and make sure he didn't commit a foul. All this while having the ball in his control. Then he had to go and you had to finish the ball into an empty net. Wasn't an easy finish at all. Wasn't an easy pass because from such a range, getting that pass right and finding Haaland is difficult. Wasn't an easy pass, wasn't an easy finish. Two pieces of world class things there. Brighton have played very well through the press now. Riyad, just come back. Riyad, just come back. Riyad, just come back. But that's offside, I know. That is very well done, very well played. Vinay says Grealish is doing Sterling. I hope he's doing a Sterling Vinay. Sterling at least shot despite having a bad shot. But Jack Grealish is not even shooting, knowing that he has a very, very good shot. Grealish is not a bad finisher like Sterling. I mean, in a way, you could say that Sterling at least had the guts to shoot, but Jack Grealish, that was again a delightful ball from Anderson. It was just that Haaland was not on the same page with Anderson. We are outnumbered at the back now. It's a 3v3. Cancelo is there. Very well done by Cancelo. We are outnumbered from the right hand side there. Manuel Akanji. Very well done to block. Excellent defending, Manuel. Very well done, Manuel Akanji. I think that's another offside call. But Akanji has been excellent again. Like he's been throughout the season, he's been very good. We need to get the second goal and then we can relax in the break. Otherwise, it's going to be very tense. Extremely tense. Look at that, Akanji getting back and having a block. He was beaten on the first dummy, but still Akanji stuck to his guns. Great example of perseverance there from Manuel Akanji. Kevin De Bruyne. Ederson just kicks the ball out. That is fine. There were no options over there. I think the instruction is when there are no options, just kick it out. And Brighton also don't manage it well on the throw, and now we need to be careful of Trossard, cutting in like he did there with Manuel Akanji blocking. You never know, deflection and it could just deflect back into a goal. A lot of things might happen. Kevin De Bruyne is not operating out wide, he's operating centrally now. That was a mistake in the Liverpool game. Maybe was it a mistake? I'm not 100% convinced it was a short mistake. And very well taken by Laporte over there. Calm, cool, and Rodri caught on the ball. Akanji almost there, mispassing, and that's very well defended. Excellent defending from Bernardo Silva. Coming back, Pascal Gross was almost there to tap into an empty net. City putting in good defensive work, defensive shift over there. Brighton are not an easy team to play against, but we have to defend a corner now. I mean, this will be interesting. They have Dunk, they have Weltman, and they have some good strong figures over there. So we'll have to concede as much less set pieces as possible, and that's well defended. I think it's Danny Welbeck who's just hit it out. We're not looking stable and confident. It's looking a bit nervy here. I myself can feel the tension a bit. So Haaland does the defensive work over there. I know that Brighton did not have clear-cut chances, but how many clear-cut chances did we have? I know that really shooting chance and stuff, but it's not the usual frequency with which we create the chances. Again, Brighton. I think we should just maybe leave Erling Haaland up front just for that out ball, because it sometimes seems that there is a chance for Haaland to run, but he's busy, engaging in the defensive duels. It's an offside again. But the counter to that would be maybe then you could be outnumbered in the midfield and it would be easy for Brighton to pass through. So Erling Haaland does well to find Jack Grealish there on the extreme left. Can shallow overlapping. This is when Grealish is at his best when a fullback overlaps. He can then cut inside and do his work. Jack Grealish can shallow. Ah, everyone's shouting that's a penalty. Everyone's shouting that's a penalty. What happened there? Let's see on the replay. Was it too soft? There was definitely a push. Maybe it's a little bit soft. That's what we hear. Maybe think. Brighton are switching very well. They're maintaining the width well. Ah, that was a mistake from Rodri, but good block. But a very good block. Great block. Kevin De Bruyne. Riyad Mahrez. Oh, the referee is going to the screen there for the penalty. This is interesting. This is very interesting, guys. The referee is going to the screen there for the penalty. I think it's Weltman or Dunk who is angry there. The Brighton players are just arguing with him. The referee is going to the screen. This will be interesting. There's clearly a push on Bernardo Silva there. It's clearly a push on Bernardo Silva. He's shoved him to the ground. You can't do that. That has to be a penalty. Ref. Yes, he's given a penalty. Now the thing is, who will take the penalty? Is it going to be Erling Haaland or is it going to be Riyad Mahrez? This is going to be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting. I'm feeling the pressure over there. I'm feeling the pressure of the penalty there. Who is gonna take the penalty? Is it gonna be Erling Haaland or is it gonna be Riyad Mahrez? Haaland or Mahrez? Yes, penalty, but Vinay, who is gonna take the penalty? Is it gonna be Erling Haaland or is it gonna be Riyad Mahrez? Haaland should take it. Haaland should take it. They're still showing the replay there. Replay of Bernardo Silva being pushed down. Sanchez trying to put as much pressure as possible. Erling Haaland with the ball. Erling, please don't miss the penalty. Erling, please do not miss the penalty. Erling, Erling, just don't miss the penalty. He's adjusting the ball. He's adjusting the ball again. Erling Haaland with the penalty. I reckon he'll go to the right hand side and Erling Haaland goal. Bang! Why was I even ever doubting Erling Haaland? Look at it. Look at how Haaland went on to strike it. It's almost like I do this for breakfast. I do this before even getting up from my sleep. Just go bang. That's it. I think the way he approached the penalty itself, you bloody knew he would score. You bloody knew he would score bang in the corner. Even if the goalkeeper dives the right way, that's unsavable. It's low, it's in the bottom corner, it's to the left. Low to the left, to the bottom. That's impossible. Sanchez went to the right side, but it's impossible. It's impossible to save those. It's just impossible to save those. Erling Haaland there with a brace again. Will he have another hat trick? It's 2-0. The composure, the way he's striking the penalty, it's almost like it's just wonderful. They're unsavable penalties. Bernardo Silva. That's a foul on a City player and it's a free kick there. But then again, that foul in itself, that Bernardo Silva foul which led to the penalty, it's an example of why Pep wants to play Grealish over there. The intricate play between Cancelo, Grealish and Bernardo Silva overlapping, that's just free to watch. Sometimes it can slow things down, but when worked out well, that's just almost wonderful. Erling Haaland is now dropping in and he's doing things well. Riyad Mahrez there. Riyad. That's fine. I excuse him for that because it takes a while to get used to Erling Haaland's runs and Riyad has not been playing with Haaland that much this season. So that's fine. That's valuable for Erling Haaland. That's very well pressed. Jack Grealish. Vinicius commentator is making big thing of penalty incident. Clearly he put leg to stop him, and also the push as well. Vinay, the push was also I think I think you can just give the penalty based on that push before you put the leg. You can't just push someone like that to the ground. And by the way, there are some commentators who are just too biased about Liverpool. For example, last season they were only talking about Liverpool, Liverpool this, Liverpool that. There are biased commentators, but that's a pen. For me, that was clearly a pen. Bernardo Silva was convinced, everyone was convinced. Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne. Ah. And by the way, who's the commentator, Vinay? Who's the commentator? What's his name? City are now just controlling the game. Bernardo Silva is playing very well in intricate spaces, but is given the ball away. Out wide, Manuel, just stick to the player. Manuel, just stick to the player. That's very well done. Akanji is doing very well. He's been blocking shots. And it's an opportunity for a counter attack. It's Erling Haaland. They're played in by Kevin De Bruyne. Erling Haaland. Ah, he miscontrols the ball. Erling Haaland. But that was such a classic situation, right? And it's offside. It had to be offside, but Erling Haaland will be disappointed not to hold on to it, and that could have been a hat trick there if he had controlled it. I'm sure if he would have controlled it, that would be the third goal of Erling Haaland. But the penalty from Erling Haaland is literally, you could see in his eyes when he's stepping up that he will score whatever the goalkeeper do. When Haaland strikes the penalty, the difference is the goalkeeper is just irrelevant. It doesn't matter what the goalkeeper does. Eddie, just kick it out. I know the Brighton manager also would make a big thing of the penalty incident or stuff. But so what? But again, that was a for me that was a penalty. It depends on whom you serve. I mean, it's not even 50-50 for me. You push Bernardo Silva when he's trying to control the ball. A leg comes out. You have hands all over him. That just cannot be allowed. Erling Haaland, Riyad Mahrez. Can you find Erling Haaland? Wonderful step over from Riyad Mahrez. Vinay says Haaland being a giant, his long legs make him difficult to control. But but even then, he generally controls the ball very well. And I know he might not have the control of David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Grealish and all, but he controls them pretty well actually. He's 200 times better than Lukaku in controlling them. And when he can and his assisting, I mean his crossing and stuff is also very good. Like he whenever he crosses it almost has a whip on it, like he did against United, right? Haaland's cross to Foden and everyone was like, wow, now Haaland he can pass as well. So Haaland is good control for me, and he does not need more control than this as well. So his control is good enough, I think, for a striker for the job he has to do. He doesn't have to play in tight spaces all the while, right? And also sometimes I think his momentum, the way he comes to the ball with high speed, it just makes Erling Haaland difficult to control. I think the half has been interesting for me. For the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I think the first 20-25 minutes we were definitely not in control. Even when that first goal went in, I think we were not in control because when that first goal went in, Pep Guardiola, when everyone was celebrating, Pep Guardiola called Bernardo Silva to the side and he was just giving him instructions, telling him things and stuff like that. So Pep wasn't really happy. Pep started to be happy only around about the 30ish minute, when we started. See, there was a phase of play when Brighton had the ball for 2 minutes or something in their half, 2-3 minutes. All of the defenders were giving instructions to their attacking counterparts. The structure was maintained, and Brighton had to go back in that phase of play. And I think that was where the spark started. That was where the belief started that yes, we can do it. We can compete against this Brighton's press and all. So I actually think that the sort of that defensive action for those 2-3 minutes in the 31st minute just sparked us, and from then on we just control the game. Silva says, bro, Jack Grealish is absolutely flop, man. 100 million to sit in big games. But Silva, you're missing out on certain things which Jack Grealish is doing. Okay, fine, he's not getting the assists. Okay, fine, he had a chance to shoot where he refused to shoot and stuff. But the point you're missing is Jack Grealish is being responsible for certain intricate phases of play. Jack Grealish is the reason why Bernardo Silva, for example, created that situation of getting the penalty. Jack Grealish is sort of controlling the tempo on that side. He's been involved in those intricate passes, those passing through those tight spaces. Pep said one of the main things why we bought Jack Grealish is his technical ability in those tight spaces, and he's showing it now, and he's showing that technical ability. So if you want to judge Jack Grealish based on just assists and goals, I think you're looking at football in a very short-sighted kind of a manner, because assists and goals are important, I understand, the but his contribution to the team is much more important, and I think Jack Grealish is doing that. He's almost being the backbencher, you could say. He's not being the player in the limelight, but he's still contributing to certain important phases of play. And I'm sure that assists will come, goals will come. They're just a byproduct of doing the job that you're given for the system to function well. So those things will absolutely come. Silva says if other clubs spend 100 million on players and not perform, they are considered flop. It depends on the intentions with which other clubs buy players, right? United bought in Lukaku for a different kind of a thing and he couldn't deliver. For example, around about 80-90 million, flop. United bought in, for example, Alexis Sanchez for something, didn't deliver, flop. Harry Maguire didn't deliver, flop. Nunez is not delivering, at least till now. Is he a flop? I don't know. But Jack Grealish is doing things which Pep is asking of him. I know he's not scoring goals and assists, but he's scoring goals and assists. The primary reason why you bought in Jack Grealish. Otherwise, for 100 million, we would have bought in someone like Rafael Leao or Kingsley Coman back then, Douglas Costa. You name the winger, we would have got him for 100 million there. So I think the job what Grealish has been assigned is doing it. Is doing it. Might be not well enough, but he's doing it to 80%, 70%. So I wouldn't call Jack Grealish a flop. Silva says, I mean, he's a forward. He must have goals no matter what. No, no. If you need goals, Foden, we'll play Foden there for goals. The role of Jack Grealish is different. In this kind of a game, the role of Jack Grealish was to make sure that the game is closed, make sure that we dictate the tempo of the game. Pep didn't want this game to be like a Newcastle game, which Brighton would have loved, end-to-end pulsating football. You'll know about it if you watch any of the Brighton's games. But Pep wanted him to dictate what style of play, what shape the game will take, and that is the reason why Jack Grealish is played. There is control the tempo very well. Bayaji says, if that's not a pen, then scrap all penalties of Salah ever scored at pool. Bayaji, I'll just tell you one thing. It's Liverpool. It's Liverpool. Even last week's foul on Haaland, I looked back at it and I was like, that's bloody not a foul. Especially when the referee has not given. Okay, now even if people say it's 50-50, last week's foul on Haaland, if the referee has not given the foul, who the hell are you at Stockley Park or wherever to sit and go and overturn it? The whole game, referee has not been booking Fabinho for all of his niggling fouls. He has given him a yellow in the bloody 70th minute, 75th minute. You are letting the game flow. And we were happy with that. Let the game flow. But why did you call back that one particular incident of Erling Haaland over there? So it's just Liverpool. The reason Liverpool won with us is because it's Liverpool and nothing else. I mean, even the first one as well, Erling Haaland. The goalkeeper clearly catches Haaland. I don't understand why that was not a pen actually. That was a clear pen. He pushed. They're showing the replay there. He pushed Bernardo Silva. Then a leg was also dangled. It's almost like two defenders are manhandling him. It should be double penalty. Silva says, I remember many times he's in a great position to shoot, but he just does not have the confidence. The confidence will come, Silva. The confidence will come. He's growing into his role. He's developing those things. The confidence will definitely come. He's understanding the runs of Bernardo Silva. Till now, Joao Cancelo has almost been an underlapping fullback. He's almost played inverted, and it's in this match, especially that Joao Cancelo is overlapping. So Grealish has to adapt. Pep almost uses Grealish as his tactical weapon. That is something people don't understand. There are certain players, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish. Pep uses them when the tactics are sometimes hugely complex and he needs certain degree of technical players to carry them out. And Jack Grealish is in them. Look at the amount of tight spaces Jack Grealish has played in. Look at how Jack Grealish is giving and going it to Cancelo, giving and going it to Bernardo Silva, taking it, giving it again, looping it over, looping the ball over two, three defenders. Look at the tight spaces. Appreciate the tight spaces in which Jack Grealish is playing. You can't just say it randomly like if he doesn't score so many goals, he's not then considered very good. Just understand the context, right, and then respond to it. Chinny says, "Why did you bring United always?" Because they're because they're prime examples of uh, uh, they're prime examples of having players who messed up, who goofed up big time. Harry Maguire, Sanchez, even Fred, I must say, for so long. When Bruno Fernandes is slowly coming into that category, if I may dare to call him that. So, United have the examples of the most flops, at least in the last 5 6 years, at least in the last decade. So, that's all. That's whom you'll remember, right? When you take examples from. Bayaji says Grealish isn't a winger and never will be. Must play as a mid to improve his stats. Exactly, Bayaji. That is another thing, which people don't realize when criticizing Grealish. See, the first context is we bought in Jack Grealish because there were rumors that season when Grealish came in that Bernardo Silva will leave. And Pep was almost confident. I mean, not confident, but Pep knew that it was a touch and go situation and he couldn't take a risk in the season. And that is the reason why Grealish came into play in the Bernardo position. So I think we can't criticize him for not getting goals in the winger position. That's not his position. And and also he's not exactly had overlapping fullbacks like Cancelo always underlap, so he's had to play wide. Now in this match, you see Cancelo is overlapping. He's coming in narrow, and he's suddenly looked so well. He's suddenly looked right at home. So we'll have to give Jack Grealish a little bit of a leeway in the fact that he's not playing in the best of his positions. He doesn't have the pace to be an out and out winger. The fact that you don't have the pace to be an out and out winger means that, especially on the wing, it means that you always have to rely on your technical ability to get out of tight situations, which means that defenders can double up on you, which means that you just become predictable. Foden, for example, has that acceleration of pace, can control. He can play both ways. He can dribble past the man, he can go past the man. Grealish can just dribble past the man, so the defender will know he can't outpace me, so I have that covered. It becomes easy. So we have to look at Grealish's strengths, and his strengths are exactly not Winger's strengths, and that is not the reason why we bought him for in the first place. Chinny says you need to speak about players of City. We cannot compare players that other clubs are bringing in. I mean, we were just comparing the price tag there. Who else came in for a price tag of round about £100? Lukaku, right? £80 or something like that, and he was a flop. So that's what you are just comparing the price tag. And to compare City players, who has been a flop at City in the last 5 6 years? Very rarely you can see Benjamin Mendy. We can't talk about that situation because what is done. Maybe you could say Mangala being a flop, but after Pep came, how many flops have we had? So there's no player to refer to at City telling that it's a flop, and I can give an example of. So that's why we go just across the street to our neighbors at United to with uttermost satisfaction to ask how many flops are you having? While we have a register full of flops, our record room is full with names of flop players in the last decade. So that is why I mentioned United there. Silva says, so Foden can't operate against low block. Then why hyping him best talent? I mean, I never said he can't operate against low block and stuff. This is not a low block. Silva, Brighton is not a low block. Brighton is sort of, I mean, if Brighton is a low block, how did Haaland score his first goal? Brighton is not a low block. Brighton is a pressing team. So against a pressing team, against a team that wants game to be end to end, Pep wants someone who can control the tempo of the game. Can Foden control the tempo of the game? Can Grealish control the tempo of the game? Grealish is a better controller of the tempo of the game he plays. It's not about he can't play against low block, he can't play against high block. It's about who can play the best against such and such a system he plays. That's all. There's no player in the world who can almost dominate any system or something like that, especially on the wings. On the wings. So that's why Pep played Grealish ahead of Foden. Silva says over dependence on Haaland will cause problem in big games. Look, your last game against Liverpool, no Haaland, no party. There was Haaland and there was almost a party. Silva, leave our pool. They again the name Liverpool. They got away because of VAR. Otherwise, Haaland would have scored. And for people saying over dependence on Haaland, they are forgetting that we have Julian Alvarez, who is almost at the level already of a Roberto Firmino in terms of dropping back, in terms of being that false nine. And people forget that we are the highest scorers in the Premier League last season, the season before that, the season before that, without pretty much having a striker. So the moment if something happens to Haaland, we switch back into that formation. And switching back into that formation would mean we can play Bernardo, De Bruyne, and Gundogan, all three of them. Teams will suffer even more when we do that. They will not even get hold of the ball. The fact that we are at least giving up a little bit of a space to teams, breathing space, is because we are adapting to a different way of playing with the Haaland. Once, just pray that nothing happens to Haaland, because if something happens to Haaland, you guys are finished. We will choke you to the hell with the false nine, because we have Julian Alvarez, Gundogan can play that, Bernardo Silva can play that. The control will be at another level and will choke you. So just pray that nothing happens to Haaland. Silva says, I mean, he just has one goal in 10 games after spending 100 million. Fine then. But Silva, why don't you look at other stats as well? Like how many takedowns he has had, how many dribble completion rate he has had, what is his pass completion rate, what are his defensive stats, how much he has run to defend, how many times has he completed those takedowns, how many times has he created space for other players to get in and score goals. All of these don't get recorded in your fancy highlights and in your a stats book, right? So just go and refer to all of the statistics, and you can see that Jack Grealish is almost at the top of many of them. Bayagis's pool defeat was on Pep's foolish tactics right from the starting lineup and formation to no in-game changes once again. Bayaji, if he would have played this same formation against Liverpool, we would have beaten them comfortably. We would have beaten them bloody comfortably. You know, after our game, Liverpool had a game in midweek against West Ham, right? I looked at it. They were bloody lucky to get away with all the 3 points in that game. Bowen had missed a penalty. Soucek missed almost an open goal. Antonio missed a good chance. Liverpool should have conceded at least 2-3 goals in that game against West Ham in the midweek. Today, Liverpool should have conceded 2-3 goals. Open goal and hits the net and it hits goal post of Liverpool. 2-3 easy chances missed. So it's just on Pep, like you said. Pep changed the entire formation. He's brought Cancelo to the other side. If Pep had just put in this formation, we would have just won easily against Liverpool. Silva says last game no Haaland, no goal, no. But party is there. Party is there. We still enjoyed it. You know, we still enjoyed because Pep realized that those tactics are not working. If it means that foregoing those 3 points for Pep to realize those tactics are not working and him never playing those tactics again, we will take that victory and we'll party with it. It's not that the season's over or something like that. And why Liverpool got the goal? It was because of an individual error, right? Because of VAR helping them out and an individual error. That's all. Silva says Bernardo is best no matter what. There's no debate about it. He's the best CDM in the world. I mean, best box to box midfielder in the world, CM in the world. Bayaji says United paid 500,000 per week wages on a certain piano player from Chile, not City. Alexis Sanchez, and not just from Chile. They supposedly paid 80 million pounds for the next Paulo Maldini. They supposedly paid 60 million pounds for the next Yaya Toure or the next Fernandino, whatever they want to call Fred. So So this, I mean, if you have to discuss about the flops at United, it will be all night long. The show will just go on all night long and deep into tomorrow's morning as well. Wonderful from Jack Grealish over there. Excellent skill there. Kevin De Bruyne. Silva says, "Bro, grow up. Uh, you cannot say luck, blah blah blah. Then you won. Then you won PL with luck. I mean, Liverpool. It was what else if it was not luck with the VAR call for Liverpool? I just can't understand why you say we won PL with luck. Does anyone win a league with luck? Just have some sense. League is not a one-off game. League is over a period of 38 games, or the grueling winter months in January, December, where the games come thick and fast. You don't have any rest, and then you have the Champions League, Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup. After all those grueling things you win, you cannot say decisions in 1-2 matches go with you, away with you. It's lucky in the league and something. It's just absolute nonsense. You grow up. No league ever in the world can be won with luck. Bayaji says dippers can start collecting their wasted coins outside at Etihad right away. Otherwise we can help them and post them, right, Bayaji, and we'll pay for the postage charges as well. I was so happy, I was so happy today after Liverpool lost. It was just wonderful. I just almost saw the entire match and it was just superb that they lost. And they deserved to lose, honestly. Liverpool deserved to lose. And by the way, City were the better team against Liverpool as well on that in that match on Sunday. There's no doubt. You might argue Liverpool created the best chances and all, but even City had good chances. Haaland, even not that taken away one, but Haaland had good chances. Almost a good header, almost the chip over Allison. Haaland scores them 9 out of 10 times easily. City, they are giving away with the ball. Just maintain the clean sheet, guys. Just do not give the ball away. Just maintain the clean sheet. Very well collected by Ederson. Well done by Ederson over there. Eddie's goalkeeping, by the way, has improved. And ever since Ortega has come, his goalkeeping has been very, very good. His shot stopping has improved. His casual moments have decreased. Like against Liverpool as well, when Salah went one-on-one, it was an excellent save. Ederson of the past seasons, maybe he doesn't save that, but Ortega coming in has surely made a difference. That's what happens, I think, when you train with world-class players. Just what happened to the finishing of Foden. Bernardo Silva there, putting the ball on a shoestring, and there was no doubt whatsoever that he will not lose it. Jack Grealish is there again in the midfield. Saga says City all the way. City all the time and City all the way. That's wonderful again, but it's a foul. Foul in favor of Brighton. What the hell is the ref? Foul tyranny? I don't know. I just want Haaland to get another hat trick. How many goals Haaland has had in this season already? 22, right? And he's had 17 goals right now, right? In the Premier League itself. It's a free kick for Brighton. I just hope we don't concede. I want a clean sheet today. No matter what it is, I want a clean sheet today. And I want Riyad Mahrez to score a goal. Just for his confidence. That's one of the most frustrating free kicks from a Brighton point of view, but one of the most happy free kicks from a City point of view. Maybe Pascal Gross was thinking the goal was in the stands. Look at the movement of Erling Haaland. It's just fantastic. I just want us to score another Haaland to get a hat trick. Bring on the subs. Bring on Cole Palmer. Bring on your Phil Foden. That's very well worked. Erling Haaland there. He should have. That's bad pass from Erling Haaland. It's bad. Haaland knows it. That's a foul, but that's a bad pass. Haaland knows it. Haaland knows it. He'll learn from it. I won't go crazy on it, but Haaland will learn from it because City were almost away on the counter there. That's one aspect which Haaland is working towards. That is why he's come here to Pep Guardiola to improve himself as well. For people who say that City are over dependent on Erling Haaland, it's not just we who are improving with his goal scoring exploits. Even he is improving with being with Kevin De Bruyne, learning from them, learning how to drop back and things. It's Tariq Lamptey, I think, on the ball. That's very well defended again by Aymeric Laporte. And Edison does well over there. Laporte's been very good. Laporte's been very solid since his comeback. I maybe think that Pep will now have a choice. Kevin De Bruyne there, Kevin De Bruyne there. It's Erling Haaland there, Erling Haaland there. He's looking for Erling Haaland there. Riyad Mahrez, Riyad has to score. Riyad has to score that. He's come on there with his onto his with his left foot. Riyad has to score that. Riyad had to score that. Mahrez had to bloody score that. Mahrez had to score that. I'll be very disappointed if he concede now from that phase of play. And Brighton score. Brighton score from there. Trossard scores again. Riyad Mahrez had to score that and finish off the game. What the hell? Look at that. That is what Pep means in terms of controlling the tempo of the game. You can't allow that to happen. That you can't allow that ping pong thing to happen. I think the mistake there is from Riyad Mahrez. I know it's at the near post and Anderson maybe should not be getting beaten from there, but maybe you could question Anderson on the shot as well. But again, it was from Riyad Mahrez. What the hell? Now it's going to be very tense. Now it's going to be absolutely tense. We need to score that third goal. We just need to switch on now. We need to switch on. Riyad Mahrez had to score that, and it was 3-0, and that was the game. He didn't, and I won't go into the defensive detail and all why we conceded that, but Riyad Mahrez had to score that goal, and then Brighton break away from that phase of play. So there's no excuse for that. There's no bloody excuse for that. Brighton have the momentum, and that's the worry. Brighton with the free kick. Vinay says Ederson is just a defender. As you look back on it, Vinay, right? You think that it should be saved, whatever be the reason. But look at it, they're showing on the replay. Riyad Mahrez had to score that. There was no way he didn't he would miss that. He really had to score that. And Ederson had to save that. So there are two mistakes over there, two defensive errors, two defensive mistakes. Now the game is bang open. Counting assist, maybe Ederson could have done better over there. Got beaten at the near post, exactly at the knee. He got an arm to it as well. So there's no excuses over there for Ederson. But again, see this is a mistake from the Newcastle game. The Newcastle game as well. As soon as you go on the other end on the counter and you don't score, you just need to control the tempo of the game. It can't be ping pong. That's what Pep said. When you go on to the other end, you finish the opponent off. The moment you don't score, the opponent will come at you in the counter, and that's what has exactly happened. One more chance, one more chance. Brighton is in control. Just soak up the pressure, guys. Now soak up the pressure and hit them on the break. Use Erling Haaland's pace. Just soak up the bloody pressure. We need to restore our 2-goal advantage. This match will not finish 2-1. There are goals in this match. I don't know for which side, but there are goals. Can already feel the tension. Tadic Lamptey there is definitely changed things. That's a goal kick. Tariq Lamptey has definitely changed things. It's a change in tactics from De Zerbi as well. Suddenly, he's able to isolate your Trossard and your Pascal Gross and your Danny Welbeck 1v1 with the defenders. I don't think it's a handball, by the way, on a Kenji. That would be very harsh. We just need to give the beast Erling Haaland a hat trick and just finish these things off. Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne apologizes, but Mahrez has been in there for the tempo thing and he's done that. That too on the left foot, it was a chance that is unmissable. That is Riyad Mahrez bread and butter. In a sense, it proves that Grealish Mahrez duo is useless and 2 days off. But Grealish has done well, right? Today he's done well in that intricate play and stuff. It's just Riyad Mahrez is just not having his finishing boots. Riyad Mahrez again, and it's a corner for City. Mahrez is just not having his confidence because a confident Riyad Mahrez just finishes it off. Look at Riyad Mahrez again, almost giving a counter away. He's just not on it. Lack of confidence for Riyad. And we need him when on form. Riyad Mahrez is such a crucial player. We need him in this season. Bernardo. And it will be interesting to see what substitutions Pep Guardiola actually makes. Vinicius KDB is off again. I think Brighton have controlled KDB well. The one chance which is able to fashion, Mahrez just screwed it. See, you need KDB one opportunity, right? KDB just needs one opportunity to just change the game. He had that with that Mahrez assist. Mahrez just screwed it up. Brighton have managed KDB well. That's what I would say. It's another steal from Brighton. Why are we just giving the ball away so cheaply there? I can't understand. That's very well defended. Well done, KDB. Erling Haaland there. Well done, Jack Grealish. Rodri's done extremely well there to release Cancelo down the left hand side. Cancelo does extremely well. We know he's capable of playing it. He does extremely well to find Riyad Mahrez. And Riyad Mahrez again, as usual. That's a foul. That's clearly a foul. I don't know why the ref didn't stop. Look at Riyad Mahrez again there. That's clearly a foul there. It's clearly a foul. Cancelo. And are there any substitutions now? I think there are some substitutions. But it's a foul on Rodri, not Cancelo. Mahrez Foden. I think it's a deserved change as well. Mahrez has been off color. I think it's the one change maybe Pep thinks could get us the next goal. because Mahrez has been getting into them positions and is not finishing it. And Foden has been in excellent form. And I just think we have to be a bit more patient with Mahrez, especially especially that he's not confident right now at all. Because Riyad Mahrez, how many haven't we seen him finish that or running onto his left foot? He finishes them in sleep. It's a free kick, and the free kick comes to nothing. I know Laporte got there, but that's very difficult. We somehow need to fashion another goal and kill it off. One goal advantage is like having pockets full of holes, then filling it with water and hoping that it will last all the 90 minutes. Rodri there, there's space for Phil Foden there. Phil Foden does extremely well to retain the ball. See, that is the difference between a Mahrez and a Foden over there. Mahrez in those sort of areas lost the ball. Generally, he doesn't lose the ball, but today he just lost the ball so many times. What a stupid pass that is. And it's Phil Foden who's got it there, and Phil can play it to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish can return the favor back to Phil Foden there. He just didn't find Erling Haaland over there. He was looking for Erling Haaland. But suddenly there's some dynamism in the play if you see. Since Phil Foden has come. Manuel Akanji is giving it to Phil. Phil just cross it into the box. Akanji, not the best person you want to cross it in. Akanji, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Aymeric Laporte. Brighton are just waiting for that one counter, that one mistake, and we should be very careful not to do that. A very bad attempt to switch play, and it's gone straight at the goalkeeper. An attempt to switch play gone horribly wrong, and a Brighton player is down. I think it's McAllister, but I don't know. Estupinian is coming on. We need to get that other goal. This league just doesn't feel secure to me. We have to get the next goal. I mean, what other changes would you guys have liked? I think that is the only change because everything else was working well, right? Estupinian is coming on. He's an experienced defender. Deserby is just explaining some tactics to Pascal Gross and McAllister. So Brighton are surely looking to hit us on the break there. We need to be very careful in terms of managing the ball. See, one mistake and we got punished. One mistake from Riyad Mahrez and we got punished. It was not the mistake of anyone in the team, no defensive error or something. Everything was good. It was just a good shot. Maybe Ederson should have saved it, especially it was down his near post. But maybe you could, one argument maybe in the favor of Ederson could be maybe he anticipated Pascal Gross to shoot on the far post and he was just a one step leaning towards the far post side maybe and he just couldn't get back in time there to cover the near post entirely. That's just one excuse you can probably give to Ederson there. Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Aymeric Laporte, Ederson. Look at the way in which he's spraying the balls around. But it's not enough. Brighton now, Brighton get into position, and that shot over Ederson. McAllister just shoots very well from that kind of a range. We need to be careful. We need to get the next goal. We need to get the next goal, guys. Can't we fashion one chance? Can't we fashion one chance in 24 minutes with Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva there? One chance. If we can't fashion it, then serious questions need to be asked. That's a free kick in favor of the Brighton defender, but the Brighton defender was so much worried about Erling Haaland and his physical presence there. And by the way, that was again a touch and go foul. Again, Brighton are playing out well from the back. They are just able to bypass City's press. The shape looks extremely good. Jack Grealish, Erling Haaland trying to chase the Brighton players down, but Danny Welbeck comes deep. Pet play. That's very well done, but again, Brighton get the ball back. They're just not able to get hold of the bloody ball. That's been more frustrating. Akanji, just keep the ball. Keep the ball. That's very well done by Ederson. And he's kicked it out. I mean, he's under pressure. Brighton are playing almost a perfect game there. That's very well snatched away there from Ken Shallow. De Bruyne can't just. I think it's Foden who just can't get to it. Just need to put our foot in there and get the bloody ball first. When is the last time you saw Pep Guardiola team struggling to get the ball? Maybe I think he needs to bring in Alvarez if he thinks he can close this 2-1 lead. But that's very early now. It's almost 20, more than 20 minutes to go. And that's a Brighton throw. All of us are working very hard. All the City players are working very hard. They're working their triangles extremely well, Brighton. And you look at the space there. They're just able to about to cut open our midfield. Just go back, defend, 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 defend. Ederson does very well over there. Ederson does extremely well over there. But was Tariq Lamptey offside? No, he wasn't offside. That was a good one. That was very well done by Ederson. Otherwise, it was almost 2-2. Akanji very well worked to Phil Foden. Phil Foden does extremely well over there. It's Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne plays it. Erling Haaland and Erling. That's a corner. This is that was just wonderful counter-attacking play, right? Look at the speed at which Haaland and De Bruyne are able to engage and connect with each other. And then Brighton's defense can just heave a sigh of relief. That's a corner. I know Haaland is unhappy with that, but that was a very, very difficult chance. Outswinging corner. Ah! Laporte, you should have scored that. That was so close, right? My Marik Laporte, it was just inches. The keeper was beaten there. What a chance for Aymeric Laporte over there. He needs to be making it 3-1. I mean, Laporte just needed to score that. Everything was perfect, just maybe a bit. The connection was a little bit early, maybe. Ah, that's very well saved by Edison. When I says Akanji needs off, man, but Pep will not sub Kanji off now. But Brighton are looking dangerous here, right? Especially they're just winning the second balls very well. Yes, Akanji needs rest. He's been starting non-stop. Now that's again a good save from Anderson. Brighton with the corner. Hope we defend it well. Hope we defend it well. This dunk, there is Weltman. It's not going to be easy. Corners in and out. But KDB, it's not to blame on KDB. I think Brighton have defended well against him. There's nothing against KDB. Cancelo. Cancelo, Grealish. That is wonderful exchange play. One more goal and we can just see the game off. Estupinian does a foul over there and that's a yellow card. One chance for Haaland, one chance for Haaland. KDB to Haaland, that connection, one chance. Can't we get one chance? That's what I'm looking for. Rodri, Aymeric Laporte, Cancelo. He's done well to find Bernardo Silva over there. Kevin De Bruyne. That's a KDB rocket! Kevin De Bruyne! We have just been speaking, he's off, but King Kevin is never off. King Kevin is always on his throne. Kevin De Bruyne, you are the best in the world. It's only a matter of time until you win the Ballon d'Or. Kevin De Bruyne, what a strike that is. That is a bullet. That is a bullet of premium quality, world class, the best central attacking midfielder in the world. From that kind of a range, just look at it, just look at the strike. Fantastic, wonderful. Everyone's occupying Haaland, and look at it, unsavable in the corner post from world class Kevin, King Kevin. That's what I would say, King Kevin. Cole Palmer is now coming on. By the way, do you guys actually think that it's almost a time for Riyad Mahrez to sort of transition and Cole Palmer to take over his baton? I think we've offered Riyad Mahrez a 1 year contract, but did Riyad Mahrez lose his touch? Did Riyad Mahrez drop off much more earlier than what Pep Guardiola has anticipated? Is that the case happening with Riyad Mahrez? Because this season was the time when Mahrez would pass on the baton to Cole Palmer. Mahrez would play the majority of time, but has the time arrived too fast for Cole Palmer? I think so. I think so actually. With the form that Riyad Mahrez is in, maybe Cole Palmer needs to take on that baton from Mahrez much more faster. It can be only good for us. I mean, of course, I want Riyad Mahrez to get back into the form. I mean, get back into form and stuff. But it would not be a bad thing for Cole Palmer to get more minutes now because Palmer's dribbling and everything is really superb from Cole Palmer. Vinay says never underestimate KDB. Underestimate KDB only at your own peril. Brighton realized it. Bayaji says only Haaland scoring KDB. Say no more. Vinay says Palmer for Mahrez. Exactly, I think that's what even I'm thinking. Maybe we are blaming Riyad Mahrez, but maybe when players enter their 30s, the drop off is just sometimes it could just be off a cliff. I mean, you do not know. Some players sustain that level till 34. Some players are just they drop off in their 31, 32. So I'm not saying here that Riyad Mahrez has dropped off and stuff, but clearly the signs are that something's not right with him, and maybe Cole Palmer. That would be just superb, Cole Palmer taking on from Riyad Mahrez and showing what is capable of this season, getting a few assists, goals. He's just an excellent dribbler, Cole Palmer. He's just an excellent player all round as well, Cole Palmer. I mean, the KDB strike also tells you that, like Baya just said, critics were telling only Haaland scoring and now KDB does it. I think that KDB shot now also makes other teams think when they're referring back to this match, for example, in their analysis. If you put all the defenders on Haaland, this guy is there when he's also taking shots from long range now. So it's almost like it's going to be an even more perilous experience for defenders from now on when defending against City. Julian Alvarez is also coming on. I think Pep was just waiting for that third goal to go in. It's good that Julian Alvarez is coming on now for Haaland to finish off his rituals and score another hat trick. No, Haaland is going off. Maybe not today, but a brace. And I must say, the first goal was very, very difficult. It was Erling Haaland, they're showing the replay. He had to control the ball, physically deal with the defender. Even before that, he had to maintain control, eye on the ball when dealing with the goalkeeper. It was difficult. It's not as easy as they show you on the highlights package of putting the ball into the net. First goal was difficult for Haaland. Penalty was also well taken, very well taken. Julian Alvarez coming in. Now for the next 12 minutes, teams will see what Julian Alvarez can do. He'll just play as that false nine, drop in and just cut off Brighton. Brighton were able to spring those passes in because the false nine was not dropping in as much. Haaland did drop in, but it's not exactly like a Julian Alvarez would do. So now it's just that the shutters are closed for Brighton with the work rate Alvarez gives and stuff. But the play leading up to that KDB goal pass was also excellent, right? The intricate play between Cancelo, Bernardo Silva was Grealish also involved over there. It was very great. The play there was very intricate. Brighton corner, City come out. It's not going to be a counter chance, or is it KDB there with his passing range? He can. No, he doesn't choose to go for the crossfield ball, controlling the tempo. He knows that was a risky ball. Bernardo Silva, they're running. What a ball that is from Bernardo Silva! It was almost a great curling ball. The ball just didn't curl enough and fall for Foden, but Bernardo Silva has been excellent down that wing. His work rate again. See, right from the moment Foden came, I think the game changed. Suddenly, City started to have more control, more grip on the game, especially. And also, I think the fact that Foden can take on a defender would mean that the defender would be that two steps back. Then a Riyad Mahrez, who the defender would know that probably will I can always catch up to him. So I think Foden makes a bit of a difference in terms of the dynamism as well. Vinicius Bernardo Silva gives so much. He gives everything: work rate, counter pressing. He almost does one of the most difficult jobs in the team in terms of taking the ball when four players are surrounded around him. He does everything. Runs from one wing to another. Runs all the way back from the midfield to help out to take ball from centre backs. Hope that Bernardo Silva finishes off his career at City. That would just be wonderful. He would surely go down as our legend. That's not a foul, ref. That's not a foul, ref. That's clearly not a foul. I don't know what this ref is thinking. If not for VAR, I think this ref would have robbed us of at least one goal. Little bit in the face, but then that's not a foul. That is very well done. Excellent work there. It's from Joao Cancelo, I think. Sorry, it's from Rodri. He's gone over to that right side. Wonderful work from Rodri. What a signing he's been. I'm just imagining how would it have turned out if we had got Fred instead of Rodri. Can Fred actually keep the ball? I don't know. That would have been a flop signing for us at least. With respect to keeping the ball. Whatever you say, the attributes of Fred are not about keeping the ball. Like a Rodri doesn't. That's a cheap giveaway. That's a cheap giveaway in the midfield, and that's very well done again. The game's not yet finished. It's the 84th minute. 83rd minute, and if a goal goes now for Brighton, it's game on. 7 minutes are too long to protect a one goal lead, especially when the opposite team gets the momentum. What is this ref? What does this ref want? He's just giving all the fouls to Brighton. Thank God we have a two-goal lead now and not a one-goal lead. Referees just let us just not concede till the clock hits the 90th minute at least. Otherwise, that could be a disaster. That's very well defended. Headed away in the box, and second ball, Rodri is there. And 1-2. That's very well done. Alvarez, Julian, you can't be so casual there. This action could cost us a goal now. Just can't be so casual. Just like the action of Mahrez cost us a goal. Bernardo Silva, look at Bernardo Silva again. Going back and helping our defensively. It's the Brighton throw. We just need to stand another wave for the next 5 minutes and the game will be done. Not being an easy game, the scoreline doesn't reflect what has happened in the game. Your highlights package will not reflect what's happened in the game. It's been a very, very tough game. It's been very, very tough going. These are nervous moments. That's a good block. Otherwise, I think that was going in. I doubt that was going in. That's very well done by Bernardo. That's again a Brighton throw, I think. Casino there. See, the clock is just ticking so slowly. That's again excellent defending from Aymeric Laporte, I think. There's no out ball for City. Maybe he shouldn't have removed Erling Haaland. Just that big physical presence would just have given other options for us. Just in terms of an out ball. Julian Alvarez is not exactly a physical presence. Clock is just ticking ever so slowly. Not a goal now, not a goal now at all. Oh, that's a bad pass, and we breathe again. We just breathe again. This is just so tense. And it's not comfortable at all because how many times have we seen a team scoring in the last 5 minutes? I mean, why to take other examples? City to win the title in 11 to a Aguero moment. So momentum will be with the team that scores, especially a team that is chasing that scores in the last 4 5 minutes. Momentum will be there with that team. So it's important we manage the game well from here on. I think it's Bobby Gilmore who's coming on. I think Brighton still believe they get the next goal before the clock hits 90, they can make something of it. And they very well can. Just it just takes a couple of seconds for a couple of goals to go. The internet should also be switched off at this moment. Why? Silva says it will be luck if City win today's game. Manuel Akanji, Cole Palmer. In those positions, Palmer is lethal. Just putting the ball into the box, and Cole Palmer almost a very good give and go. Look at the way Palmer is managing the ball. Look at the way Palmer is taking care of the ball. Silva says Brighton creating chance after chance after chance. But mate, is a game of football won on the number of chances you have created? No, right? It's won on the basis of the number of times you put the ball in the back of the net. So we have had the ball at the back of the net 3 times. They've just had it once. So we have done it almost twice as better as them. So on what basis you think we are winning on luck? If it's just 1-2 or something, you could say by luck 1-0 or something. This is not luck. We have worked hard. Brighton are creating chance after chance, but even we are defending chance after chance. We are defending chance after chance. So why do you say defense is weak? Silva says, then why did you say Madrid win last season by luck? Yes, there was luck last season. PSG, Donnarumma giving the ball away, that sparked the comeback. That was luck for Madrid. It was like Laporte handball when the IFAB rule book says that that shouldn't have been a handball. Gabriel Jesus missing chance after chance. There was not just in the City game, there was so much luck for Madrid last season. When Madrid fans will agree. Sadio Mane's ball hitting the post. Madrid weren't exactly defensive rocks last season. They conceded loads of goals. This is different. We're defending well. The first goal went in. That was not because of our defense. It was because of our goalkeeper not covering the near post, and it was because of our winger Riyad Mahrez not completing his action, which gave the chance for a counter. So defense is not responsible for why we scored. Silva says so luck, so PSG got out, Chelsea got out, Man City got out, Liverpool got, exactly they were lucky elements in each part of that game. They were lucky. When Madrid fans will agree, speak to them, they'll agree that there was element of luck in each of those comebacks from Madrid. I mean, I know it's the desire. I mean, I'm not telling it's 100% luck. Again, there you're wrong with me. There is an element of luck in that, but then the desire, the perseverance, and everything of Madrid is also there. I don't disagree that. Hard work, they never give up. Their qualities of never giving up, trying till the last moment. Everything combined got them to the UCL trophy there. I'm not telling 100% luck. That I've never told it. It can never be 100% luck. In fact, it was you who told that it was. luck by which City won the Premier League and all of that. And I never say it's 100% luck, but and you have to have luck in the knockout games. Liverpool, Real Madrid just had a little bit more luck than what an ordinary team would have. That's what I mean. It's just 3 more minutes to go. But at 2-1, it was just so tense. It was extremely tense. I really was feeling nervousness there at 2-1. What the hell? Because an equalizer looked on the cards, on the balance of play. Erling Haaland is just having his boots up. Ilkay Gundogan is just enjoying his rest over there. I think at last Brighton have given up. I think Cole Palmer wants his goal. That was not a good pass, but anything will do. 2 more minutes remaining. Just want Palmer to get one, or Alvarez to get one, someone to get one more goal. Brighton are running through now. It's Bernardo Silva who's running back. Look at the work rate of Bernardo Silva. It's just excellent. But that's a foul in City's favor. Laporte goes down and he catches his ankle. I just hope everything's fine for Laporte. It's a bit of a twist of an ankle. I just hope that it's nothing serious because Laporte just showed the qualities he can bring. He's extremely fit, and I think it's fantastic that we have two world-class left-footed defenders in our team. Laporte and Ake, two leaders almost. Ake is a leader, so that's extremely good and job done. Bernardo Silva, just look at him, guys. Just look at look at the sweat on his face and stuff. He's given everything. Bernardo Silva. I guess if you just go and look up the stats of Bernardo Silva after the match, I think he would have at least run 2-3 kilometers more than everyone else on the pitch. But the blast from KDB for me was the highlight. It was a signal that KDB, when he's in his absolute peak, is back. It was not an easy shot at all from that range to find the top corner. That's just out of KDB's absolute best dreams. Vinay says Bernardo Silva is real engine man. Without him, Rodri is weak. Without him, Rodri is. I don't think without him we tick like that. Without him, I think without Bernardo Silva, I don't think that we can defend so well actually. Because a lot of his defensive work is underrated. He just plays under pressure so much. And also there are times, sometimes even, I mean Rodri is very good on the ball, but there are some times when even Rodri gets caught on the ball, but not Bernardo Silva. That's why no matter why Xavi wanted him. Xavi, in fact, they say that sees himself in Bernardo Silva. When Xavi was like that, you just couldn't pinch the ball of him. But maybe not as much of a work rate as a Bernardo Silva Xavi. City have just seen out the game extremely well. Julian Alvarez, Brighton still maybe want to score one more goal, and that's a free kick in favor of Brighton. And it's already 1 minute and 21 seconds more, ref. Why? When will you be more punctual? I know it's minimum added time, but he stole four and he's actually almost played 2 minutes extra. And that's it. A very well done victory for City. A very hard worked performance, I would say. A performance which was not always straightforward, a performance where we were, don't let the score line fool you, but this was a performance where we were slapped with questions at every juncture, For example, the starting first 10 15 minutes, Brighton were pressing in a diamond structure, and then literally Diaz, Ederson, Haaland, Bernardo Silva had to go to Pep, and Pep re-changed the tactics. This game was a test of Pep's game management skills as well, Pep's in-game tactical skills as well. How could he make in-game changes and things like that? So, I mean, and then after that, Brighton changed to a different shape. City adapted. I mean, at every juncture of this game, it was almost two grandmasters, one putting a step and the other putting a step that was better than the previous step, and it was just two grandmasters battling it out. This game for me was much more of a tactical game in the head. It was almost that those two managers were fighting it out themselves, the help of these players on the ground. I think if it was without Haaland, and if it was just a sort of a false nine-ish system like we played last time, I think the game would have been much much more even. Actually, I would not have been surprised if Brighton would have won that sort of a game as well if it was just with a false nine and without Haaland. I think what Haaland has done in these sort of a games is where it's highly tactical, where the opposition manager he relies on finding spaces, pressing high and all. Dijer believes more in pressing high and compressing the opponent team. He doesn't care if it's a Liverpool, it's City, or it's whoever. The fact that you had a Haaland up front, the fact that you had a player who's never offside, the fact that you have a player who's a physical specimen, he has a pace of even Usain Bolt maybe can't catch him. So it meant that Brighton couldn't commit to that much of high press as well. The one time they did, Ederson finished him off with that pass, and Haaland finished him off with that fantastic first goal. So I think Haaland, literally in this game, it's the first time I'm thinking that maybe if this was a false nine, if maybe if this was a fixture last year, maybe without a striker, maybe we would have struggled. Maybe it would have been a draw, or we would have nicked a 1-0. But this is the first game in this season where I'm thinking that Haaland has made a difference in that with a striker and without a striker thing. So Haaland did make a difference. I think the second half was interesting. The second half, I actually thought that we came out a bit casual. It showed Jack Grealish was tucking into the midfield a bit more. It showed the way we were spraying passes and stuff. It actually showed that we thought we'll score one more. Haaland will complete his hat trick, and it will be a great sunny evening and everyone can go and enjoy the weekend, but that wasn't the case. Brighton just came on to us. There was a phase, almost 55th minute, since when Riyad Mahrez missed that chance, there was actually a phase that Brighton just dominated for 15 minutes. We just couldn't get the ball of Brighton. It seemed that Brighton scoring was just inevitable, and then Pep made that sub of Foden and Riyad Mahrez, and it just changed everything. The reason it changed is now again, just like Haaland, Foden is dynamic and stuff. So the defender just couldn't go full throttle and press Foden, knowing that if he turns, he just off. He has an acceleration that is almost too deceiving, and you can't just catch him. So literally, the defenders had to step back a bit, especially the fullback on Foden's side. So that way it was actually interesting that Foden came, added more dynamism, and he was immediately looking for Haaland, and we soaked on the pressure well. The defensive organization was very, very good today. Now you would say that you conceded one goal, but that one goal wasn't two individuals. Mahrez not finishing off, and Ederson. I think I can even give Ederson a bit of a leeway here, because Ederson might have thought Trossard wanted to place it into the far post, which Trossard generally does, and he would have just had his body weight leaning towards that side, and he just couldn't have come back on his thing. But the mistake by Mahrez, it was a repeat of how we conceded those goals against Newcastle. So I actually think that Pep will have a word about it to Riyad Mahrez as well. So I think from that moment, Brighton dominated, and KDB, what a strike that was. All the defenders were around Haaland and KDB. That was KDB at its best. Not an easy situation, not an easy shot to score from. I think the ball also wobbled a bit in front of him. He just stuck it into the top corner. That was just something excellent from KDB. There, KDB is back in form, top form. I think Bernardo Silva, as always, was very good. The defensive structure, the defensive organization was good for me. That is something I was very pleased with. I think I've repeated this once or twice, but I'm so pleased that I want to repeat it again. That Akanji was there; he was giving instructions to Mahrez. Grealish was getting instructions from Ken Shallow. I mean, all of the defenders were talking to their attacking counterparts, and it was almost a two-way conversation, which is just wonderful. I think that is how you win big things. That is how you win Champions Leagues. That is how you soak up pressure by having that communication in defense. That is something I was extremely pleased of today. The way we defended as a team, the way we attacked as a team. Baya, this is customary KDB Colazo. That strike can only be scored by the absolute best. That strike can only be scored by the Emperors, and KDB is one. I think that KDB really deserves a Ballon d'Or. He does deserve a Ballon d'Or for sure, actually, for what is done. I really hope that we win the Champions League this year and he actually gets the Ballon d'Or. It's just that it feels unfair that KDB doesn't get the Ballon d'Or. It almost feels like that. So much talent, the vision, the assists, and everything. And by the way, Erling Haaland has 17 goals and 22 goals in all competitions. Just 5 goals away, I think, 6 goals away from last season's Golden Boot winner. So I think before we switch for the World Cup, he'll at least get switch off for the World Cup. He'll at least get 25 goals. I think two more hat tricks. You should be a brave man to bet against that. But over and all, I think it was a game where we had to soak up pressure, where we had to suffer. But like Pep Guardiola says, the best teams often are the best sufferers as well. They know how to handle situations when you're under the cosh, when the odds are stacked against you. When Trossard scored, it almost seems that Brighton would go on and score the next goal. The momentum was with them. They scored roundabout the 65th minute, where it's kind of considered a sweet time when you trial into score so that we can get the momentum equalized and then go on to take the winner as well. So we handled the situation well, didn't get bogged down by what happened. I think that is a big difference. That is a big learning from Newcastle. From Newcastle, we were 1-0 up, then we conceded a goal 1-1. Then after that, we were bogged down and then conceded 2-1, 3-1. We didn't let that happen here. The defenders, the leaders in the defense, and the leaders in the team in general didn't let that happen. They just let the game roll on. Everyone came together and defended. And when the chance I think the biggest difference is we were calm here, which we were not against Newcastle at 1-1. Here at 2-1, we were calm here, knowing that a chance will come. Surely a chance will come, and we have Erling Haaland to finish it off. So, game very well managed. It was a game of mentality monsters in the mid phase of the second half, and we went through it extremely well. Bhayaji says we were still missing usual intensity at times. Never looked like playing after a good week's rest. But Bhayaji, I also think that today the game, Brighton really wanted to engage with us. It almost seemed as if if you watch two grandmasters play, the chessboard will always be crowded in the middle, right? It almost seemed like that. It almost seemed that space was out wide, and there was no space in the middle. Both of the teams were cancelling each other out. KDB was almost tightly marked. Haaland was looked after tightly. Grealish wanted to come inside. I think having Grealish and Mahrez also didn't help, because when a team wants to engage with you, you literally want to have at least one winger, if not two, who's quick, who's dynamic. Today's game called out someone like a Phil Foden or a Julian Alvarez to actually start. So I think that's a mistake which Pep actually made, and hence I think since the game became compact, you passes began to go astray. The Brighton were pressing as well. They were in our faces. They were getting to the second ball as well. So I actually think that that's one of the reasons why the intensity was not there. But we showed the intensity in our decision making, I think. So I've seen City, like you mentioned, I've seen City being slack. After a week's rest. A week's rest is never good for us. In the past we were slack. We generally are like Sergio Aguero. Sergio Aguero, when he comes back from an injury, he takes 1 game or 2 games to get the engine revving, and we take at least one game to get an engine revving. But today that was not the case. I think we wanted to play, but the complexity of the tactical systems, the tactical web of De Zerbi meant that we couldn't play with our usual freedom. And I'm already getting the sense. I know it's a choice that to make too early, but I'm already getting the sense that maybe Teacher B could actually be a good replacement of Pep in the next 3 years, seeing how he develops, because the tactics and everything. I think I can even say that maybe Deserby is one step at least ahead of Graham Potter as well. I think in terms of the way Graham Potter is good, but I think sometimes you see Graham Potter holding back sometimes, but Deserby is on the front foot even more. I think he would be a perfect fit for City maybe in 3 4 years after Pep leave, if Pep leaves, whenever Pep leaves. So I'm already having my eyes on Deserby. The way they play the games on the front foot, the way he cracks tactical puzzles, the way he is unfazed by getting into the eye of big teams. I mean, who would dare to press City? Come on, it's Brighton are one of the very few teams who have dared to press City there. So I'll keep an eye on Deserby. Actually, he's been uh, someone who I think has more potential than Ten Hag as well, more potential than Graham Potter, more potential than all of these upcoming managers. So I'll keep an eye on him. But overall, I think I think having Laporte also added to the balance of the side today. I know there are certain kind of games where Ake could be better, especially when the opponent striker is rapid and things like that. Then maybe I think Ake is better. But when you have to break a complex tactical system, I don't think that Laporte is better. So I think now we'll see Pep choose play the centre backs depending on the match. I think depending on the tactical systems he needs to break, depending on the complexity of uh, passes. For example, if you need a pass that has to go to Cancelo or that has to be lifted over the midfield, then I think diagonal to be pinged that far. Then I think Laporte is actually better than Ake. But then when you need more focus on the defensive work, and when you don't need so many complex passes to go through. So then I think Ake would be better. It will be interesting to see how Pep rotates his centre backs, but rotation of the centre backs will be something I'll keep an eye on, because they will have a lot of technical reasons. Otherwise, you can't let Ake, Laporte, or Diaz be on the bench. That's just too much for them. They're very good players. Anyway, guys, excellent match, excellent performance, excellent way to round of Saturday night football for us. Wonderful, wonderful. There were tense moments, but we have gone through it well. There was pressure, we have soaked it well. I somehow get a gut feeling that this is the start of that cog, that City cog that just starts to roll on and on, 2000, that COVID hit season, it happened with that Chelsea Gundogan scoring those goals, we giving a battering to Chelsea 6 goals or stuff. So I think this season, this is the starting. I somehow have that gut feeling with today's performance. This might just be the starting of that City cog, just rolling on and on. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And if you have liked the video, please click on the like button, bell icon, and the subscribe button. Vinay is here. Vinay says, but Pep always does Pep things. But Vinay, have you observed Pep? Okay, I mean Champions League finals. I mean, apart from that, but when we settle into a sort of a rhythm in the Premier League, we have 2020 season with Gundogan. Last season, when we settle into a rhythm, Pep kind of lets it flow. Pep doesn't tinker. I mean, I think one of the hallmarks of Pep is Pep tinkers a lot in the first 1.5 month of the season, first 1 2 months of the season, maybe till October mid or October end. He tinkers, but once he sees that there is some rhythm flowing, once he sees that he's happy with the rhythm that is being infused in the team, I think Pep doesn't tinker much. Maybe that Liverpool match was the last of Pep tinkering, and either side of the Liverpool match, City have shown that if it doesn't tinker, what we can do. That United win, and today the win against Brighton. So I think now will be the start where Pep will be like, in the Premier League, I'm done. The danger of that Pep tinkering, I think, will be in the Champions League. Actually, that is where we need to be beware, because Pep can do anything in big games. Champions League finals, that is something, semi-finals, that is something we need to be careful about. But I think Pep is done with his testing. I think Pep now knows the best personnel and which personnel he needs for which sort of situations and stuff like that. I think maybe Pep tried to experiment with the three at the back against Liverpool. I understand why he did that. He did that because he thought maybe taking a point from Anfield was better than conceding a goal on the counter. And as things went, it should have been maybe nil-nil because considering Salah just scored it from a mistake from Cancelo, so things almost worked out. But then I think the approach was unlike Pep. I get why all of us are angry. That approach was unlike Pep. The against Liverpool, he went to Anfield not to lose. When does Pep go to a game not to lose? He always goes to win, even though it means titles, reputation, anything is at stake. It doesn't matter. Pep keeps the attitude of winning ahead of things like pragmatism, reputation, and all. He's just a winning monster. He just wants to win above everything else. So that was surprising. That Pep things there. I mean, you can understand in the Champions League final, Pep did a Pep thing because he was too aggressive and he just wanted to break down the Chelsea structure and he wanted to go for a win. But against Liverpool, that was not a Pep thing for me because he did not want to lose from when we Man City are going to any stadium. I don't care if it's any stadium. From when we go to a from when is it that we go to a stadium not wanting to lose? Opponents fear us in the tunnel itself. Even Liverpool. So that was, I think it was an attitude mistake, and that attitude mistake of Pep in the Liverpool game, it translated into the formation, three at the back, conservative formation, and stuff like that. It ended up that we stifled Haaland ourselves. We didn't want Liverpool to exert that job. Vinay says whenever Grealish Mahrez start doesn't look convincing. But if you just I think divide that into two parts, I think that if you just look at Grealish, he's done all right actually. He's not been that bad. He's coming to the midfield and he's playing that intricate passes. He was responsible for that penalty which Haaland scored. He was involved in a lot of good moments for us. I think the problem is Mahrez is not in good form. That is the thing. Otherwise, if you just imagine this, Riyad Mahrez in good form and Grealish in good form, I think they can be an asset more than anything else. Mahrez in good form makes it 3-0 and just kills the game off. When Mahrez scores that goal, that would be an other thing. So just think that Mahrez is going through that drop of form. Now Pep needs to look at it and think, is it a temporary drop of form or is it a drop of form that is above 30 now, that generally happens with players who get on to that age? Is it that Pep needs to decide that how much time does he have to still get the best out of Mahrez? So that is what Pep really needs to consider. When I says Mahrez be good for mid-table or below teams, but for City he's finished sadly. It hurts a bit when I thinking about Riyad Mahrez, being finished sadly. It really hurts because while I'm talking about this, I'm suddenly those flashes of the goal he scored against Borussia Dortmund 2 years back, that penalty under pressure, the goal he scored against PSG on our road to final in the semi-final, the goal he scored against Real Madrid, that wonderful strike. I mean, 2 3 years ago when we were neck to neck 2019-20 title race, Riyad Mahrez he scored a difficult goal in a game against Bournemouth 1-0, and we got out of the game, and that points proved pivotal to the title that season. I mean, a lot of very good memories. That corner kick against United, I think last season, where he scores directly from a corner kick onto him like a free kick. So a lot of Riyad Mahrez memories actually flash in front of my eyes. So I mean, I somehow cannot accept that he's finished, but maybe age catches up with the very best. We are seeing what is happening with Ronaldo, so maybe age catches up with the very best. But something in me really tells that Riyad Mahrez still has a bit more in him. But something in me tells that Riyad Mahrez maybe he's just going through that little bit of a dip of form, and he'll just come back stronger. That is what I'm hoping. Just for the memories he's given, just for how much joy he's given all of us. And I actually want him to be there for at least 2 years. The reason why I've said 2 years is to transition Cole Palmer, just like what Fernandino did. Maybe next year he might not be getting chance, but just be speaking to Cole Palmer, just be training with him, giving him tips and stuff. I think a successful transition is actually necessary for Riyad Mahrez, for Cole Palmer. To make that happen, I think it's necessary for Riyad Mahrez to be there. Vinay says Mahrez 32 can use him for Liao or Kvaratskhelia. Kavachala is someone which we are, by the way, keeping tabs on. But again, when maybe I'm thinking one more year, we could just keep Riyad Mahrez and maybe see if we can get Cole Palmer starting regularly for us. I just can't believe. I mean, believe in the sense I'm just not able to accept with myself that Mahrez has missed that. Just when KDB plays that ball to Riyad Mahrez, I was ready to just shout at the top of my voice because those are finishes that Riyad Mahrez can even finish in his sleep. Mahrez coming onto his left foot, the ball just rolling onto him. That's easier. Probably that's easier than filling up a bottle of water for Riyad Mahrez, right? That's probably the easiest thing for Riyad Mahrez. He's low on confidence. I think. I think we'll look at him and we'll give him some time. I bet Pep will start him against Borussia Dortmund. I just want him to get the confidence back. And Kvaratskhelia, we are looking at him. Liao is difficult, I think, when because Liao, I think it's 150 million pounds is release clause, by the way. So Liao is difficult, but Kvaratskhelia is interesting. He's a Napoli player, right? And I've seen him play Napoli against Liverpool, for example, in the Champions League. He was, by the way, Napoli is just playing high octane football, so he's playing very well. He just could be suited to Pep style of football straight away. With Liao, I do not know. I would be a bit cautious with Liao. I know he's a world class player, but I don't know if he can adjust to the intricacies of the Pep system because Liao is an out and out player who relies on pace. Does he have the technique? Maybe he has. I do not know. Can he understand the complexities of Pep system? I do not know. But Kvaratskhelia, I'm sure. So let us see what happens there. Vina says, yeah, 150 million, and I don't think we will pay that much. But I think Cole Palmer, I'm actually bullish on Cole Palmer now that Cole Palmer will actually come good for us. He just seems to be so bright of a prospect. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you all enjoyed it. It was a wonderful show. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for those wonderful comments. It was wonderful having a discussion with all you guys. See you all guys again and take